Hi, it's Elin. It's June 11th, 11:21 in the morning, and I am in sunny and hot Chicago. So I'm in a wonderful, wonderful Airbnb place. It's just amazing, amazing Airbnb ever. Um, I'm sitting in my room, so hopefully this angle is okay. I think it's okay. So I did, again, the practice is the 45-minute meditation where I sit and sometimes reflect on what's on my mind and sometimes just let things come. And today, well, because I didn't meditate yesterday, I was traveling all day. And so today I really felt like I had a lot to process in terms of looking at how I respond to love, how I respond to care, how I respond to gestures of care. And because, again, it has to do with the process and how a system has been set up where we receive emails and texts and we encourage each other, and that surprisingly has triggered me in many, many ways, um, in so many different directions. So, in one of the directions, um, close the door. So it's amazing, actually, not stopping the recording. Um, so, in one direction, I'm actually feeling stress because I've labeled myself as an introvert, meaning I kind of I have this set idea of how much energy I have, how much interaction I can have, socializing with other people before I feel depleted. So I was just thinking yesterday that I have this idea that I, this is the amount of energy that I have, or battery, social socializing battery that I allot to myself each day. And some of it is true. It's just by experience, from experience, I just know that that seems to be the range. This seems to be the amount of energy that I have for socializing before I do need to come back and reconnect with myself, which is great. But I was noticing that as all these, letters of encouragement come pouring in, and there's more um, back and forth because texts are so immediate that whenever there's a group text and it's something that's really encouraging, something that's really love based, heart based, I want to automatically just contribute and to not only to give back, but also contribute. And there's a certain point where I I felt that internal exhaustion. It's like the day after the party, after I give back, after I sort of participate in that excitement, in uh, in allowing myself to be social, and it's a combination of things because uh, while I was traveling yesterday, I also made the intention to open myself up a lot more socially and to interact with those around me. Just be open. to the interactions around me. So I was talking to people way more, a lot more than I usually would allow myself. And there were a lot of amazing, amazing conversations, inspiring people, amazing conversations that I wouldn't trade those conversations for anything. I'm not saying I want to go back and change anything, but just noticing, as I was meditating this morning, just noticing how um, last night I felt an overreactive mind running, as in, because uh, for a lot of the conversations, for a lot of the connections, it's more, the conversations are very um, intellectual, sort of an intellectual resonance with an intellectual resonance. And it stayed, the intellectual conversations stayed on the surface, and they were not on a just relaxed, all that is, spaciousness, um, a sort of a silent commune, a very deep, uh, high consciousness communion between people. And so, I want to be true to my own experience. So what I experienced last night really was sort of my brain waves going everywhere. Uh, there's a term for that. I don't remember, but it's sort of overactive neural activity, an an overactive mind where it just wants to keep going, keep telling stories, and keep uh, identifying with things. And that identification, to a certain point, it's really amazing. It allows me to go out and co-create. It allows me to go out and have that interaction with people. And to another degree, I was thinking in the meditation, or feeling into it in the meditation, uh, also the stress behind that, and how, when I drop in and just allow myself to be present with the love around me, um, sometimes nothing needs to be said. A lot of the times, nothing needs to be said. It's just that openness with love. And there's that tendency, that pattern, to want to give back love. Whenever people say, I love you, I want to go ahead and say back, I love you too. Whenever people show me their love, I really want, really, really from the bottom of my heart, I want to show them that love. And and as much as that's beautiful, the more I meditate, the more I could feel that there's so much more. Not to say that, giving my love back is not a good thing, and that having an action, a reaction to the expressions of love is a bad thing, is actually great. Though, as I meditate, I also feel a depth in the truth that I am love, and the fact of my being is love, and the fact of me, this existence, is love itself, and it is loving response itself. And that the mind will convince me that every single time that people express their love to me, I need to give something back. On the surface, like I need to show, I need to effort and show. And that's when love becomes codependent. That's when love becomes efforting. I don't know why I'm doing this Bill Clinton thing, but that's why I just got it. As I'm speaking right now, I didn't even think about, or I didn't even realize it in meditation, but I just got it, where that becomes codependent love. That becomes caretaking, where when someone expresses love, I feel like, okay, I know I'm deserving, and I know I'm worth it, but there's something in me, a pattern where, like, that means I gotta give back even more. And I think that's coming from a place of a disconnect from um, my body, and also my existence itself as love. And when that piece is connected, whatever that I do out of that space, if I am already love, that I am self-love, and that nothing that I do or don't do can ever prove or disprove the fact that I am love. Not only that I'm worthy of love, but that I am love. Really, really is the fundamental truth that I just realized in this moment. And I feel like I've been practicing that for the longest time. Where there's that moment arising, of a situation where, let's say someone pays me a compliment, and that someone says something really, really nice about me, either to me, or on the side as a side comment, or as a conversation with somebody else that I later heard about. There's always that resistance, and I've always wondered what that's about, because after all these affirmation practices, being on the Hay House track and being on the self-help, self-growth track for such a long time, or in my mind, in my 33-year-old mind, such a long time, why is there still that sense of deflection? And I could not figure that out. And I think now I'm starting to see that caretaking piece, be able to follow it, follow the train of thought, follow the patterns, follow the cycles of caretaking, where that's a disconnect from the only way I can describe it is a samastitihi of I am love. And samastitihi is known in the yoga world, and I really don't know how to express it in layman terms, except that it's a sort of a mind, spirit, soul groundedness. It's a spacious solidity. It's not a, strength, masculine solidity, but samasiddhi means, for me, means a mind, spirit, body, heart alignment and groundedness. So when I'm in that space, the fact that I am is good enough. And that what the mind says, the reactions that I go into, as in, ooh, when someone sends me a bouquet of flowers, I better be super grateful and thank that person profusely and give back in some ways. Or someone pays me a compliment, I better pay that person a compliment. Otherwise, I'm not a good person. Otherwise, I'm not on the gratitude track. Those are mind states. I'm beginning to realize for myself, those are mind states. And when I'm in that deeper space of self-love, it's beyond self-sufficiency. It's not about self-sufficiency, but just that space of samasiddhi, at one within. When I'm at one within, the chakras integrated, the love that I am able to witness becomes greater. And that's another amazing thing, where it's not just the receptivity of love. I realized it's not only sort of the consumption of love. Sometimes because of our language, receptivity becomes the ability to consume. And the thing is, there's always a flow in the universe where if we consume, we have to circulate and give it back out. And sometimes that receptivity just means a holy witness. Sometimes it's just that holy witness of love that's good enough. Or in our daily interaction patterns, it's good enough of a response. It's that sacred, holy witness of love, holding space. In agape terms, with Michael Beckwith, it's the same concept as their practitioners holding the prayerful state all around the sanctuary, the witness. And when I'm connected to that part of me, sort of feeling that value, feeling, I can only speak on the surface level, it translates into feeling my worth as a witness, feeling my value as a witness. I don't need to act or react. It's that holy witness, that knowing is more than good enough. It is tremendously valued in this day and age of social media. Just that simple witness of love from the place of samasiddhi and integrated love is a gift to the world in itself. So It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Full of love, full of knowing, full of grace. And I'm grateful.